Hi everybody, this is Kefren, your favorite French Canadian. Today I'm going to show you how to boost your FPS in the new Call of Duty Warzone Season 3. I'm really excited with this update because my guide will be updated. They release a couple of new stuff like the DLSS. It's crazy. You can have more than 35 to 60% of your FPS depending on your resolution. If you're playing 4K, 2K, or even 1080p, it can help you. So I will show you that. So we will start first of all with Windows. The first thing that you need to write is the game mode. In my previous guide, I was removing game mode, but with the latest version of Windows now, game mode seems really good, honestly. I did a couple of tests, even in Warzone. They allocate the best core on my Ryzen processor to the game, so that's really good for me. I'm getting better FPS when I activate the game mode. So maybe just do a test on your own. If you're getting some stuttering, sometimes it can be game mode, so removing it, but definitely test the new game mode. For the Xbox game bar, make sure that Xbox game bar is at off, really important, and also don't use any overlay, the Discord overlay, AMD overlay, Nvidia overlay, and stuff like that. You will lose FPS. Make sure that all those capture features also are at off, background recording at off, recorded audio at off. It's really important. Another thing that you can do is write GPU, go to your graphics setting, and make sure that your hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is at on. You will need to restart your computer to make sure it's applied. This will help you a lot for entry and mid-range level computer. On high range, I didn't see high-end, computer. I didn't see any improvement, but normally you can get 3 to 4% in your FPS, so that's a good feature. You need an Nvidia card, the series 1000 and above. I'm not sure if it's compatible right now with AMD. They just released like a brand new driver, so maybe it is now. And you will also need the latest version of Windows. One more thing, make sure that you update your driver. Nvidia driver, really important. AMD driver or even Intel driver. It will help you a lot for your FPS. And I have a couple of control panel setting that I want to make sure that you guys are using. So first of all, the low latency mode, I recommend to use this at on. So you want to reduce the latency when you play the game. So it's more like the input lag. And here, power management mode, make sure that you're using the prefer maximum performance. And after that, just apply this and it will work. So let's click X. So now let's go inside of the game. We will look at the new setting parameter. So now inside of the game, we will start with the general parameter. A lot of people's asking me the question where I can change my field of view. Field of view is not in graphic, it's in general. So this is pretty much it. Me, I'm playing at 90. So it really depends on your preference. So this is pretty much it. Why I'm going to general also, if you want to see your FPS, GPU degrees, and stuff like that, and you're not using a software like MSI Afterburner, this is pretty much it. So when you do your testing in your graphic, make sure that you enable all of this to see all the performance metric to make sure that what you're currently doing, it's working. So now let's go to the graphic. Display mode, really important this one, play full screen, don't use anything else. You will lose FPS, it's causing also stuttering, so go with full screen. With monitor, make sure that you're using your proper monitor, but this you will see anyway. Display adapter, this one is really important for laptop people. Sometimes you have like the integrate the GPU and you have the GPU, and for a reason that I don't know on the laptop, sometimes the game is taking the integrate video card and you don't know why you're lagging. This is pretty much because of it. So make sure that you're seeing your graphic card here. If you see an Intel integrate video card and you have a dedicated GPU in your laptop, just switch it and make sure that you're using it. Screen refresh rate, this one also really important. Make sure that you're using your refresh rate. I know a couple of people that they have like a 144 Hz and they're playing at 60 and they don't even know. So make sure that you're matching your refresh rate here in the drop down. Render resolution, normally just play at 100. You just want 1:1, so you want to play the resolution that you normally use. So this is pretty much it. Really depend on your monitor, honestly. I recommend to just play native. So if you have like a 1080p screen, go with 1080p. If you have 2K, go with 2K. because sometimes when you downscale, you're getting like some blurriness, like the image is a bit weird. So yeah. After that, aspect ratio, go with automatic. VSync, put this one at disable. You don't want any input lag, so that's why you put this one at disable. And also frame rate limit, go with unlimited. I recommend to put Nvidia highlight at disable. You don't want to create any stuttering when you're playing, so really important, this one. And if you have the reflect latency, go with enable plus boost. Back in the days, I had an issue plus boost. I was losing FPS. Now it seems to be fixed. So you want the more like responsiveness possible when you play this game. After that, streaming quality, you can definitely go with normal. Texture, resolution, and texture filter anisotropic. It will really depend on your VRAM, and you have an indication over here, so you don't go after the max. And also, make sure that you have some space. Don't go too crazy with that. So if you just have 4 GB of VRAM, go lower a little bit with your texture and texture filter as anisotropic at medium. If you have 3 GB, go with low, and even less than 2 GB, just everything at low. Particle quality, this one, if I compare high to low, I'm getting like a nice 4% boost in my FPS, and also my I'm getting less drop in my FPS, so this one, I recommend to put this one at low. Bullet impact, I'm using enable because I want to see some when I shoot, so this is more like, you're not losing a lot of FPS with this one, and it's practical when you play this game. Tessellation, I recommend to go with near, it's the best compromise. On-demand texture streaming, I'm going with enable with this one. You can limit your texture cache size and stuff like that. So this is pretty much where you're doing it. After that, those parameters will give you a lot of FPS. Shadow map resolution, this one, if you compare extra to low, I'm getting like a nice 6% boost over here. I recommend to cache your spot shadow and your sun shadow. It will help you a little bit with the stability of the game. Particle lightning, go with low. This one, ultra to low, I'm getting a nice 8% boost, so really important. Don't use any ray tracing, you will destroy your FPS, so don't use that. Ambient occlusion, this one, if I compare both to disable, I'm getting a nice 7% boost in my FPS. And the screen space reflection at disable, another 4%, so really important, go with that. After that, DLSS Nvidia, this is a brand new option that you can use. I will start with people who doesn't have DLSS. So if your DLSS is at disable and you can't use it, you will have the anti-aliasing feature. So if you don't, normally I was playing at off, but if you feel that your image, you have too much noise, too much line are like moving and stuff, I recommend the SMAA1X. So your image will be a lot smoother and you will not lose a lot of FPS with this parameter, so I recommend this. And if you don't want any anti-aliasing, go with off. I feel like my image is more clear with the anti-aliasing at off, so that's why I was playing like that. But back to the new feature, Nvidia DLSS. So I don't have any 4K screen or 8K screen, so I did a couple of comparison, like the ultra performance one, and honestly, I feel like the image quality was too low for me, too blurry. Right now, I feel like balance is the best one. I compare balance with quality, and honestly, I didn't see a big difference in my image quality, and I was getting 10% FPS more with balance. So I feel like right now, balance is pretty much the best for FPS and image quality. It's pretty crazy. With my parameter, when I play Warzone, like open Warzone with a lot of people moving and stuff, I normally have 120 FPS to 140 FPS. When I go with Nvidia DLSS, I'm getting 180 to 190 FPS. So it's huge, and also my FPS are more stable. So I really recommend, honestly, do a test. Look at your image and stuff. For me, balance was the best. The only thing is items and weapon on the floor, they feel a little bit pixelated, but it's not a huge bummer for me because, you know, it doesn't change anything with your visibility. Like it's not like a player that you need to kill, so it's just loot. But I feel like DLSS, it's not like 100% on point. If you really want like pure visibility, you have like a decent rig and you don't care about your FPS, I feel like anti-aliasing at off is still a little bit better than the DLSS, but honestly, DLSS, it's a lot smoother when you're playing, so that's why I'm using it. I don't have like a 3090 on my rig right now, I have a 2070, so for me, that's better to go with the DLSS. After that, depth of field, I'm going with disable. I don't like this effect. You don't want, like, I want visibility, so that's why I'm going with disable. Same thing with motion blur. You don't want to use motion blur in an FPS. Go with disable. And make sure that your film grain is at 0. So that's about it, guys, for the graphic parameter. This is pretty much the best setting, I think, for Warzone Season 3. If you have any question, just comment in the YouTube section. Post me your rig, CPU, GPU, and RAM with your question. I will try to help you the best that I can. If you like this video, please like it. It does a lot of... It's good for the algorithm with YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Peace!